The Islamic world supports Russia-Ukraine war. First of all, war is generally defined as violent conflict between states or nations. It seems absolute rules that humans should fight their own safety and right. Maintaining state sovereignty is not easy. Sometimes tough action needs to be taken, as Russia did in invading Ukraine. Russia has taken decisive action by invading Ukraine on 24 February 2022. For me, Russia is right. Russia is trying to maintain the sovereignty and security of its country and its people. I'm sure that any country, when it is under threat, will do the same. I think Ukraine's decision to break Russia's trust and betray Russia by joining NATO is wrong. As we know that NATO continues to expand its territory to the east, and that violates the agreement between Russia and NATO. Russia has visioned that the Western Bloc is deliberately using NATO to encircle Russia. If Ukraine is allowed to join NATO, then NATO will build a military base there. If this allowed, it will be very dangerous for Russia. Russia will be surrounded by NATO and at any time can be attacked. Therefore, Russia took quick decision to invade Ukraine. The chairman of the Mufti of the Russian Muslim Spiritual Center Council, Talgat Tajuddin, support Russia-Ukraine war. He said it was an act of compulsion and even unavoidable. He knows that this is about maintaining the sovereignty and safety of his country. He hoped this war would end soon and Russia would win the war. There are several countries that support the Russia-Ukraine invasion, including Cuba, Syria, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. So I guess Islamic world should support Russia's decision because this is about sovereignty and safety. Thank you.
I condemn this war, especially Russia's decision to invade in Ukraine, no matter what. I'm highlighting your argument that Russia is scared of NATO to encircle the country by having military base in Ukraine. That's hilarious, baseless, anxiety, and ironic. Why would they scare to be attacked by managing to attack Ukraine first? How can they try to protect their country by damaging other countries' well-being? How can they try to protect their people by genociding other people? Let that sink in. I don't think Islamic world should support this cursed conflict. Islam is the epitome of peace, not war and genocide. This is crossed the line. Russia itself violates international law and its serious violation to some contemporary international law, such as humanitarian international law and human rights international law, including morality international law. See how worse Russia's act is. Estimated 27,892 people are killed and confirmed 4,600 people are killed on 25th March 2022. There are 93 countries condemn this. Then why would Islamic country and Islamic world should support this conflict while most of the country aware that this is dangerous and damaging human rights? Russia should have cleared the conflict in peaceful ways at the first place, as in explicitly stated in Article 2, Paragraph 3, Article 33 of the UN Charter, and abandons armed violence as a policy option and instrument to resolve its dispute with Ukraine, not massacre humans like this. Islamic world shouldn't support this. I condemn this war because human rights should have been protected. Human life is matter. Thank you.
I don't agree with your statement that Russia has baseless anxiety. It's not just an unfounded fears, but it has been thought with careful calculation and strategy, so it can be predictable and someday will be happen in the future. The destruction to human rights that happened in Ukraine is because of Ukraine's president. He took wrong decision, even though he promised over and over again to maintain all of the Ukraine's region, but it can be done, and unfortunately, it became boomerang for Ukraine. The mistake that Ukraine's president done are, first, Ukraine president wrong because he expect too much from NATO. Second, he wrongly assumed that Ukraine is important for NATO, when the truth is Ukraine not that important for them. 3. He also can see the chaos that will be happen if he ignore the warning from Russia. So indirectly, Ukraine's president sacrificed the society and sovereignty to Russia. Before this conflict is getting bigger, Russia is warned Ukraine to not join NATO, but Ukraine doesn't care and still join NATO after all. After that, Russia gave another warning to Ukraine that Russia is going to invasion Ukraine on 24 February 2022. But again, Ukraine too naive and underestimated the warning. The negotiation between Russia and Ukraine is already done, but unsuccessful, so peaceful way is not working. So that's why Russia feels in danger if Ukraine joins NATO, because Russia thinks their region will be surrounded by NATO. So before something bad happens to Russia, Russia is take one step forward to avoid it. And just like what the first speaker said, that Islamic world should support this because it's about maintaining sovereignty and safety. Serious, Russia really keeping its country.